In Mecca, where Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, was born, there was no significant Jewish presence, no synagogues, no Jewish tribes, and no visible signs of Jewish life. The city was a bustling center of trade and pilgrimage, but its spiritual landscape was shaped almost entirely by Arab polytheists and their ancient traditions. The Kaaba stood at the heart of Mecca, drawing people from across Arabia, but the Jewish faith had not taken root there. But when the Prophet migrated to Yathrib, soon to be known as Medina, he entered a city with a very different character. Here, established Jewish tribes had lived for generations, shaping the city's culture and history in profound ways. Among these tribes were the Banu Kainuka, Banu Nadir, and Banu Qurayza, each with their own traditions, leaders, and places of worship. These communities had lived in Medina for centuries, maintaining their faith and customs while forming alliances with local Arab tribes. They were skilled in agriculture, trade, and scholarship, and their influence could be felt throughout the oasis. Their presence was not accidental. It was rooted in ancient prophecies and a deep spiritual expectation that something extraordinary would happen in this land. The Jews of Medina believed this land was destined for a monumental event foretold in their sacred texts. For generations they had passed down stories of a coming prophet, and many hoped that Medina would be the place where prophecy would become reality. Their settlement was an act of faith, built on the hope that a prophecy was nearing fulfillment. Every home they built, every field they planted, was a testament to their belief in a promised future. To understand why they were there, we must look to the Torah, their most sacred book, which held the secrets of their expectations and dreams. The answer to their presence in Medina lies hidden within its ancient pages in verses that spoke of a coming messenger and a land of promise. The story of the Jews of Medina is a story of faith, prophecy, and anticipation, a community waiting for a sign and a city destined to play a pivotal role in history. The Jewish migration to Arabia was no accident, nor was it a simple quest for new lands or economic opportunity. It was driven by a powerful belief in prophecies found deep within the Torah, ancient words that spoke of a future event destined to unfold far from their ancestral home. Jewish scholars, poring over sacred texts, became convinced that a final prophet would arise, not in Judea but in a land marked by palm groves, vast deserts, and rugged mountains, Arabia. This unwavering conviction led entire families, generation after generation, to leave behind familiar cities and settle in places like Yathrib and Khaybar, not for trade or conquest, but to witness a prophesied event they believed was imminent. They saw themselves as guardians of a sacred watch, entrusted with the responsibility of waiting for the promised messenger who would change the course of history. Their daily lives, cherished traditions, and deepest hopes all revolved around this expectation, shaping their communities and their sense of purpose. The prophecies were so vivid and specific that they convinced entire communities to uproot their lives, leaving behind the familiar to settle in a foreign and often challenging land. Their faith and anticipation shaped not only the geography of their lives, but also set the stage for one of history's most significant turning points. The Jews of Medina were not merely waiting, they were actively preparing, living each day in readiness for a prophecy they believed was about to unfold before their very eyes. The story of this migration might have remained legend, but a remarkable discovery changed everything. In a cave in Palestine, explorers found ancient Torah scrolls, older than any previously known. Written in ancient Hebrew and carbon-dated to 2,000 years ago, these scrolls predated both Jesus and Muhammad, peace be upon them. This find offered a pure window into Jewish beliefs before later interpretations. For historians, it was a chance to verify ancient prophecies. For theologians, a glimpse into the original text. The scrolls confirmed that the prophecies guiding the Jews to Medina were not later inventions, but authentic traditions. These were genuine expectations, centuries old, not retroactive stories. The ancient Torah gave scientific weight to the faith that shaped the Jewish journey. The whispers of prophecy became tangible history. Within the ancient Torah, researchers found prophecies of a future prophet, not from Isaac's line but from Kedar, son of Ishmael. This pointed directly to the Arabs, descendants of Ishmael, as the origin of the awaited messenger. The prophecy described a teacher who would bring justice and light, not a conquering king. The Jews of Medina believed this prophet would arise among their Arab neighbors. Their settlement in Medina was a calculated move, based on these scriptural clues. They watched and waited, convinced the prophet would emerge from the children of Kedar. Living among the descendants of Ishmael, they were ready for the fulfillment of their ancient texts. The prophecy was clear: a world-changing messenger would come from Arabia. The prophecies didn't just mention lineage, they named a place: Sila. The Torah spoke of a new song of praise rising from Sila's mountains. In Yathrib, the Jews found Mount Sila, a real landmark matching their scriptures. This discovery confirmed for them that they were in the prophesied land. Mount Sila became a symbol of hope, a daily reminder of their purpose. The convergence of prophecy and geography gave the Jews of Medina unshakable confidence. They believed they were living at the epicenter of a divine event. The mountain stood as a silent witness to their faith and anticipation. For generations they watched Sila, waiting for the new song to begin. The Jewish tribe's wait in Medina spanned centuries, shaping their identity and their relationship with Arab neighbors. Children grew up learning about the coming prophet from Kedar. The Jews often reminded the Arabs, "A prophet will come, and with him, we will triumph." This conviction was no idle boast, it was a core belief. The Arabs of Medina grew up hearing these prophecies, making the idea of a new prophet familiar. Ironically, these warnings prepared the Arabs for monotheism and revelation. The Jews' anticipation planted seeds of change in Medina's social fabric. The city became a place of expectation, ready for a dramatic transformation. The long-awaited moment finally arrived. Muhammad, peace be upon him, a descendant of Kedar, declared his prophethood and made the historic migration to Medina. His arrival was not just a personal journey but a turning point that would shape the destiny of the region and its people for generations to come. The Arabs, who had long heard Jewish prophecies about a coming messenger, recognized the signs they had been waiting for. Many among them felt a sense of hope and purpose, and they embraced his message with open hearts, believing that a new era was dawning. For the Jewish tribes of Medina, however, this was the ultimate test of faith and expectation. Some, like the respected scholar Abdullah ibn Salam, saw in Muhammad the fulfillment of the very prophecies they cherished. With conviction, they believed and joined his followers, finding peace in their decision. For others, however, pride, tradition, and political concerns clouded their acceptance. Many had expected the awaited prophet to arise from among their own ranks, under their authority, and struggled to accept a different reality. The very prophecies that had once united them in anticipation now became a source of tension and division, as old hopes clashed with new realities. Some embraced the truth with humility and courage, others turned away, fearing the loss of their status, influence, or cherished beliefs. This moment split the community, creating new alliances and rivalries, and changed the course of history forever. The journey of faith had reached a dramatic fulfillment, but not everyone was ready to accept the outcome. For many, it was a time of deep reflection and difficult choices. The lesson remains timeless. Witnessing a prophecy fulfilled is one thing, truly embracing it, with humility and an open heart, is another challenge altogether.